Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel for OCD recovery. Today I have another great whiteboard titled Why You Are Not Recovering from OCD. We'll talk about common misconceptions, how to actually get better, what we see working with over 40,000 people with 80 different countries. Everyone that works at OCD recovery has all experienced what you have. Sure, they didn't have my exact symptoms, the doubting disorder, but we all had chronic OCD. We understand what it's like to live in that despair, the anxiety, the shame, the guilt, the groanal responses, nobody understanding. We have a very unique community in this way. I'm going to do a deep dive into all of this. Before I go any further, please subscribe. Hit that like button down below. Let me know what you think about this video. Like I always say, please engage. Please comment if you can do it. I'm telling you, it is worth it. The experience that you will have working with the coaches, all the email notes we take, the WhatsApp groups, the camaraderie, to finally be understood by people who get it, who have walked in your shoes, who are not going to give you reassurance, who will explain things with tough love, compassion, empathy, and let's jump right into it. So, okay, this is probably the hardest thing to explain to people. Previous help is not always the best indicator. A lot of people are told that ERP is the gold standard, which it certainly is not. That's a very wishy-washy statement. I know that's not easy to hear. I know that's what the books say, but it's not. Exposures can absolutely be forced. I see a lot of people thinking they need to do exposures, where I tell people, say for sensory motor OCD, life is the exposure. You do not have to breathe through a straw. You don't have to focus on your blinking like that. That's right. I completely fuck myself. I do this stuff and then people make it into memes. It's the best thing ever. I love being made fun of. I can actually take a joke because I'm from Jersey, bada bing. So acceptance was never covered. Not radical, but unconditional. Hold on. Let's go in here. That acceptance right there. So not radical acceptance. Radical acceptance and unconditional acceptance is literally comparing A to Z. You hear apples and oranges. Comparing radical acceptance is like comparing a tree to the motor of a diesel truck. I mean, they're not even in the same stratosphere. Radical acceptance has no touching of the worst case scenario acceptance over a long period of time. And the term radical is aggressive, fast. Now it's a radical change. There is no radical change. Unconditional acceptance takes a lot of time, a lot of reassurance. And of every 1,000 people who come in who have seen well-intentioned other people, of those people who are being coached or helped by someone, no matter who they are, how many of them have gotten reassurance from this person? 1,000. It's a 100% ratio. Because if you don't have OCD and you haven't come out the other side and maintained it, you're going to give people reassurance. Telling people their thoughts are egotistic is reassurance. Telling them that that's not who they are. That happens in 90% of people getting help. It's reassurance. Many of the nuances are missed. This is a huge one. Not understanding the ins and outs of acceptance, not living through it, not understanding all the micro behaviors the person is doing. There are people I've worked with who have done 200, 300, 400 calls with other people. I've asked them 3 simple questions. What about this behavior? What are you doing in your mind when you have a trigger and this and that? They say, I've done 300 calls over a 5-year period. Those were never mentioned. Again, these individuals are trying their absolute best, but because they don't live in the trenches and have pulled themselves out years and years of hard, treacherous work, I'm telling you right now, this is a big one. There's still no career. This is a big one. I have people I work with who still have no job, and I get it. I was in a really bad spot, mental hospital, still no career. I said, okay, well, you've been working with someone for how long? 150 sessions. And by the way, this doesn't mean there has to be personal responsibility for the sufferer. There has to be personal responsibility for the sufferer. This does not mean it's just the person who's helping you fault. They could be making recommendations. But I work with people who have never even been told, like, look, you got to get back to work. There's no way. If you're in the working career ages, if you're 42 years old or even 72, but you have no hobbies or anything, not good. Tons of missed avoidances. I had someone come in recently who say, we hear this all the time, I have no compulsions, I have no avoidance behaviors, which is always extremely comical. We went through a list together over a 2, 3, 4, 5 period calls, and they had 50 different avoidances. 50. They didn't even know it. No tough love. Let's stop here for a second. 5-star. As Jim Rohn says, tough love is the love you probably don't want to use the most frequently, but it's the most important type of love. The world is absolutely dying with this. The idea of everyone needing to be respected, everyone has to value your opinion. This is 100% utter fucking bullshit. The world doesn't give a rat's ass about it. But again, compassion, empathy, so important. You got to have the mixture. You got to have the anecdotal experience to know when to use more tough love, when to get in there with humor, how low are they, when to use compassion, when to use empathy. And you got to have really, really good social awareness, which a lot of people just don't have, which is a trained skill. And you got to put yourself in the situations over and over. Okay? It's not their job to get you better, but this is a 10-star. I've talked to plenty of parents, well-intentioned. They love their children. I get it if you're watching this, mom, dad, but it's not your job, but you got to stop giving them reassurance. Erica had calls with Rob, and Erica got to a point, it was very hard for her, naturally very compassionate, very empathetic. She had to learn a little bit more of this. I was very good at this because I was raised with that Brooklyn Italian, how do you doing, bada bing. And I had no compassion, no empathy, so I had to learn to apply that so I didn't turn into a douchebag. So it's the truth. Like, some people are more tough love. No, you can learn it. It's harder for people to learn certain things. You're all going to have trials and tribulations of what comes easier and what doesn't. But Erica got to a place to where she would look at me and just say this to me. You know the answer to that. I'm not helping you. And I'd be like, fuck. So almost knocked this over. All right, let's go to the other one. Let's bring it down a little bit. Bada bing. Let me get out of the way. Oh, yeah. Let's go to this one. This is the one. This is the Monster Killer. What show is that from? Picks up the rock. The Monster Killer. If you don't know, you're screwed. Your attitude. Overlooked a lot. Your attitude is everything. Yes, you will have to fake it until you make it. We've done plenty of videos on that. It's going to feel forced, but you got to do it. You show up every day. And by the way, everything we're talking all this, I've made almost all these mistakes. And not once, not twice, hundreds and hundreds of times, some of them. My attitude was dog shit, egotistical, I know it all. I had that side of me. I know recovery best. Been working on recovery for 19 milliseconds. Patience was something that did not come natural to me. I really had to work on that. I've made huge strides with that. I'm so thankful for OCD. OCD was the best thing to ever happen to me. It has changed me. I would not trade my experience with OCD for anything. Now, I could say that because I live with a great time to recover. If I didn't, probably wouldn't say that. You have to muzzle your negativity. Be very careful about these people nowadays that say, well, it's good to talk about your emotions. To what end? Is there a constructive element to it? Are you talking about it in a balanced way? Are you meeting with someone for 40 minutes and just talking about the way you feel? Disaster. You have to muzzle the negativity, and yes, you're going to have to force it. This idea, by the way, a little rant offside, of needing to be authentic, your true self, is a disaster. Sorry, I can't be my authentic true self all the time because I'll just tell people, like, why the fuck are you doing that? So you got to know when to apply it, when not to apply it, like I said before, and realize even when you think it's applicable, it's not going to be received well, and not everyone's going to like you. You have to learn to muzzle the negativity and stop bringing it up. Okay, none of this fake positivity. Okay, hold on. I got to do it. None of this. None of being on stage, on like jumping and going, woo, manifestation, we're going to manifest. Recovery, the present moment. This is all total fucking nonsense. If I followed, bet my whole life on it, 10,000 people who go to these, again, well-intentioned people, but this shit's got to die. All these, big 5-day seminars about mindset and goal setting. I will bet everything. My unborn son, 9,998 of them are doing the exact same shit 1 year from now because that doesn't make change. You don't need any of that to make change. You need, okay, these are my goals. I have to work on this and then work on it. You don't need the emotional. All of these big speakers are trying to get you in that emotional grip of like, yeah, I'm good, I'm motivated. And then, no, you don't change. You need realism. Optimism, realism, and skepticism. Not a third. Depends on the situation. Optimism, realism, and skepticism. Some mixture of this, as Albert Ellis says. And let me tell you something. Skepticism, I'm real skeptical about all these things that people are doing nowadays. It's a bunch of wishy-washy bullshit. So, and then you have to force this on the tough days. Sorry, no matter, and then mindfulness is amazing, but no matter mindfulness, no matter trying to force the present moment, it's going to get you through those tough days per se. What's going to take you through those tough days is today is going to be tough as fuck, and I got to just try my best to show up. That's what it's going to be. Okay, let's go to the thing that you got to do. So, the approach was wrong. What needs to happen? REBT, ABC, the Ellis books, okay? There's no way I would ever be able to be where I am today without understanding the correlation between activating events in your belief system. There's no shot. Acceptance not meaning agreement. This is the hard one for humans. Humans are operating on acceptance equals agreement. I know I did my whole life. Can't blame them. I like to joke around, but I'm not. I get it. If I didn't have OCD, God only knows how I'd be. I was a fucking disaster. So, but this is the reality of it. Acceptance doesn't mean agreement. I tell people all the time on calls, I don't want your outcome to happen any more than you do. I just have a little bit more of this. How much is out of my control? I can't control my brain. There's no way. You hear people, control your thoughts. It's ridiculous. Anyone that's telling you can control your thoughts, run. Time, patience, determination. I always say it in that funny way. I think of Chris D'Elia, the comedian. If you type in Chris D'Elia fitness, you'll love it. He's like, patience, determination, grit, consistency. You know, but it's the truth. You need time, you need patience, you need determination. You have to do belief work on paper. Okay. AI is great. There's a lot of benefits with AI. But if you think you're going to be able to half-ass your way through this and not write anything on paper yourself and not use your own faculty, remember, you got a brain up here between these ears. I hope you got a brain. You got to use it and write on paper. ChatGPT has many benefits, but it's been the biggest reassurance and the laziest behavioral trait activity that people have engaged in. Exposures when needed. When needed. When. Career, hobby, socializing. Depends on you, what you want to do. Try new things. All of this will build higher frustration tolerance. And yes, you have to look at your worst case scenario. Even with morals, even with POCD, even with harm, you got to look on it. And that goes up again. So acceptance not meaning agreement. It's going to be very, very difficult, but it can be done. Humor in community is amazing. I'm telling you, you got to be careful. The mental health world is so weird about this right now. Like, everything has to be very serious. And we can't joke around. No fucking way. Humans have been communicating through humor in tough times all throughout history. Can you imagine all the tragic shit all throughout history, all the different wars? Forget the wars going on right now. Wars all throughout history, dating back thousands of years we don't even know about. Humor got people through the toughest time. And the last thing is no victim mentality. I was a huge victim. If you're working with people who are keeping you in the victim mentality, they're keeping you in that world of like, no, you got to have people absolutely, being respected by people is amazing. There's a lot of benefits. But like, no, people have to respect you. They have to value you. No, it's all about me, 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 me. If you have a victim mentality, I can tell you this right now, your chance of recovery, zero. 0%. You ain't recovering from OCD in that victim world. How do I know? Because I was there and I didn't fucking recover. I mean, you got to pull yourself out of this. You got to fake it till you make it. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. The sun's right in my eyes. Phil at OCDrecovery.com. We got to have some humor here. Educational, humor, anecdotes, experience. I love listening to words like that. Patience, determination. I've lost it. I get that. I get it. I lost it. But this is incredible. This is what needs to be done. You got to have the education, know when to work with people, how to apply it. Time. It takes time. It took me 3-4 years to get to where I am today. I was still great 2 years in, but nothing like I am 6.5, 7 years in. And just it's a journey. It's a journey. It's a journey. That's another word that's used very wishy-washy, but it's a fucked up journey is the way it should be. So phil@ocdrecovery.com. Hope you enjoy this. Comment down below. If you like videos like this, let me know what you want me to cover. I love making content. Hope to hear from you soon. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.